I spoke to a man who played a major role in that famous victory, the great Pat Stanton. What are your memories of that day?
Well, it was a cold day just like today, Tony, and it doesn't seem like 25 years ago, but now that you've mentioned it, it was an important day for the club.
Edwards back to Brownlie. Brownlie making room for himself, working his way through. Good tackle by Hay. He'd still have it though. Tenacious Edwards. Back to Black. Long forward toward Gordon. Free kick to him just outside the box. One would imagine that Alec Edwards would somehow try to mastermind this situation. O'Rourke and Stanton there. O'Rourke leaves it to Edwards. Edwards chips it forward. Chance for Stanton. It's a goal! Stanton scores! 15 minutes in the second half. A classic free kick situation. On a rote dummy, Edwards lobbed forward. Stanton walking round the keeper, banged the ball into the net from not an easy angle. And that's the first goal of the match. Superbly taken by Hibs skipper Pat Stanton. Headed down by Black. Hood racing for it. Breaks to McCluskey. Comes to O'Rourke. And Cropley really moving. McGreen challenging well though. Fine play by Danny McGreen under real pressure there. My goodness, Alex Cropley certainly shifted to get to that one. Duncan infield, lovely ball to Stanton. Stanton forcing his way through. Stanton for Hibs outside the box, dispossessed. Breaks to the right. Edwards thinks about a shot, lets one go, breaks towards Brownlie. Connolly onto it quickly, Brownlie challenging. Connolly beats him nicely. Up towards the halfway line, Black and Hood thrusting for it. Comes to Edwards, what a game now. Edwards takes the ball for a long walk, keeps possession though, finally loses it. This is McCluskey, the hard-working McCluskey stepping in. Beats Edwards beautifully. Head down the line, Schaedler challenging. McCluskey up very quickly, Schaedler there. Back to Herriot, a tremendous game now. Picked up by Stanton. Stanton out to Edwards. Never stands still for a second. Edwards back to Stanton. Beautiful ball. O'Rourke's clear. Stanton lofting it across. O'Rourke. What a goal! What a goal! Magnificent goal by Jim O'Rourke. He's away behind the goal. There he is. A superb cross from Stanton. Edwards, Stanton, O'Rourke. 2-0. 21 minutes played in the second half. A magnificent goal. Brownlie punching it down deep into the Celtic half. Headed down by McCluskey. Stanton with a touch. Schaedler. Out to Duncan. Duncan cutting infield, still has it. Loses it to McCarry, but referee says a free kick. Cropley taking a little bit of time before he takes it. Sweeps it away to the far side to Brownlie. Brownlie lofting it across. Stanton's there. Chance for Gordon. Stopped on the line. O'Rourke. Another defence-splitting move by Hibernian. Superb move. Moving inside the last minute of the match. Stanton. Down towards the corner flag. Who's up first? Stanton. Edwards. Astonishing ball control by Stanton and Edwards there. Right on the byline. And a free kick to Celtic. Referee saying to Hay and Edwards, shake hands. The handshakes are genuine. The tensions and pressures of a cup final reflected there, both players. It's been an extremely clean and sporting match, and it's almost over. Celtic's throw. And it's time up now. I make it time up. Mr. McKenzie looking at his watch. Ball lobbed forward there. And it's all over. And at last, Hibs win the Scottish League Cup. Magnificent effort by Hibs. Stanton going across there with the team over to where the Hibs supporters are in the terracing. Celtic, magnificent losers. What a pity that one team has to lose in such a superb game. A fine adornment to all that's best in Scottish football. A fine effort by Hibs. The happiest player there, Pat Stanton, leading his team over to where the Hibs supporters are massed. And there they are, waving to them. Great jubilation.
What players in that team impressed you most?
Well, I think I've already said, I think Alex Cropley was a marvellous player for us, as was O'Rourke. John Brownlie, probably an outstanding fullback. Unfortunately, he received an injury early in his career, and there was no telling how good he was going to be. But these are just one or two. It was a really good team, that.
And of course the wee man from Fife.
A real star, yeah. But it's hard to believe, Tony. I was speaking to Alec not so long ago, and it's hard to believe that Alec never even got a Scottish cap. And when you think of some of the people who have got a few caps, some are even in that Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And that wee player never even got one.
And that boy Higgins never got one either.
Well, that's for another chapter, Tony, I think.
And of course on the left-hand side, Pat, you had the flyer, Arthur himself.
Yeah. And Arthur's still going strong and looking great as well. He's a wee bit greyer, but he still just looks like the same lad who turned up came to us from Partick Thistle.
And always that during that time as well, Pat, you played in that magnificent victory against that team from the other side of Edinburgh.
That's right, the Hearts, yeah. But at that time, I always felt that somebody was going to walk into it, because about a couple of days previous to that, we played Aberdeen here. And we beat Aberdeen, I think it was it 2-1 or something like that? It could have been 10, quite easily. Bobby Clark was magnificent. And it just so happened when we went to Tynecastle that day, and to be fair, Hearts could have quite easily been 2 goals up. But then once the first went in, it was just a procession after that.
A career spanning many years at Hibs. What characters do you remember vividly during your time?
Oh, there's been some, apart from yourself, Tony, there's been some great players. And a lot of the great players seem to be the great characters as well, and I think that's what got them through in the bigger games. The bigger crowds didn't seem to bother these people. You know, I played with some great players like Willie Hamilton was a great player, Eric Stevenson, and the players in that '72 team. But there was a lot of good players away in the middle '60s when Jock Stein was here. There was a real good team then. People like John Fraser, Jim Scott. People like that, John McNamee. So that was a good team as well, and it tends to get overshadowed a wee bit with the one. It was a really good team in the early '70s, don't get me wrong, but that was a good team as well.
And your wee pal Jimmy Herriot, he was a real character, wasn't he?
Oh well, Jimmy and I went to school together, and apart from playing here, when Hibs ever went abroad, and Hibs really went on great tours in these days. I think probably we followed in the wake of the name that the famous Five had made for themselves here. And we would go to America for 7 weeks on at a time, and Jimmy was my roommate. And I shudder to think about the things we got up to, now that we sit and talk about it, But it was a great time. I don't think we realised how lucky we were, Tony, at the time, being paid for something anybody else would have given their eye teeth for.
And also you were nicknamed the Quiet Man. Where did that derive from?
I think it was when it was my time to buy a round of drinks, Tony. Suddenly I went quiet and disappeared to the toilet. I don't think I was quiet on the field. But The thing is, I think what it gave you the benefit, during the course of the game, you could actually kick people and get away with it. And because the ref would say he wouldn't do anything like that.
Pat would never do that, yeah.
That's right.
Well, you haven't been quiet today, Pat. Thanks very much.
You're welcome, Tony.